Hey guys, welcome to the Summer Read and Watch campaign. I am Chris Wall, executive producer of the Wingfeather Saga animated series. Good to have you. We are joined by some new friends today, and we are in episode 2 of season 2. If you've missed the prior ones, of course, they're on our YouTube channel. You can go back and watch those and get caught up. And there's a really cool QR code that you can scan, and it gives you like a comparison of like which chapters of the book and which episodes they tie to. All right, who's got the first question on this one?
Do you want to start?
Oh, sure. Okay. So let's talk about the trolls. How did the team come up with their design?
The trolls,
Super
these
cool.
trolls right here, the ones I'm wearing the shirt
that's
for.
so neat.
In the merch store, wingfeathersaga.com/store. Trolls have been around so long in fantasy, and it was really fun to think about what would our trolls look like. And we looked at lots of images of trolls and lots of people's ideas and designs and kind of came up with 2 variations. If you've read the whole Wingfeather Saga, you know that trolls figure into the story importantly. And trolls, it turns out, are actually pretty nice. They can be friendly. They have their own kingdom and ruler and so forth, but some of them, these 2 in particular, have been kind of brought in to do bad things. And so, so we thought we'd think about them being... We actually thought about in their designs, like what would an innocent version of them be, and then what is the trained kind of fighting mean version of them, right? And so kind of adding, some piercings and armor and that kind of thing to make them... But yeah, it was referencing others and trying to fit them in the world, and then think about the scale. We spent a long time thinking about how big. So what do you think we used to determine how large they are? There's a key action they have to do, one of them anyways, that decided how we decide how big they are.
Was it when they're throwing the boulders?
Yeah, that's what
That
I was
was
gonna
one
say.
idea.
Okay.
Yeah. It was actually from the last episode.
When they were... Oh, from the last episode.
I'm trying to think.
I know.
What are they doing?
They grabbed...
Oh, yeah, they grabbed Pete.
Pete. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So we knew that Pete had to fit in one of her hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't just have him by the shoulder. That'd be too small. And he couldn't envelop him where Pete would disappear. So we actually put Pete and decided the scale of the trolls based on that.
When we were watching on the subtitles, when they would grunt or whatever, they actually had names. So is it Froome, and what is the other? Shirley, yeah.
Shirley and Froome. Yeah. Yep. So it's myself and Mr. Keith Lango voicing them.
Really?
Doing
Yeah.
these fun voices. Yeah. There's a really embarrassing video out there of me in the booth doing the voice. Yeah. Not going to do it right now. Don't ask. All right. Who's got the next question?
Well, I have... which scene in this episode was, the hardest to animate, I guess?
It was really difficult because as we were building up, we wanted to build the sense of loss. And I was like, how do we do this? You can't have Dear Nugget die and not just wreck the audience, right? I was imagining TVs all over the world turning off right when that happened. I'm out. I'm not watching this stupid thing. They killed the dog. And so I was like, what could we do? In the books, Andrew's able to write some beautiful prose, some detail about how everybody's feeling and what was happening at that moment that we have to capture visually just in expressions, and it's really tough. And so I was like, what if we stage this where it's Nugget being heroic? What if he's making a choice to do something really heroic and that costs him his life?
Rather than just getting killed.
Yep, not accidental. In the books, it's a bit accidental, right? The bridge kind of falls and it's like, oopsie, he fell. In ours, I was like, no, what if he knows he's choosing to defend the family? Poto was just about to get, defeated by that guy, and he chooses that. So then he does, but we want to have a moment to just get that he knew that choice. And so as he's falling away, we animated and worked that
sequence. Where he kind of smiles.
Kind of knowing, I know my choice, right? And I'm happy for my choice. And so that was by far the hardest one to get right emotionally, because there were some of it that felt really pathetic and sad. You just felt oh. And then there were some that felt kind of goofy, he was a little bit careless. So yeah, that was definitely in this episode. And honestly, in all of season 2, I was thinking mostly about how we would carry this off. It was if we can survive, figuring out how to get through this moment, and then give it the proper the fireside scene after and Lily's sadness and all that, if we can give that the proper weight and bearing, the rest of the season will be fine emotionally, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, to build off of that, is Nugget really gone? Because we have some moments when other characters actually come back in the books.
Yeah.
So
well, and so everybody likes to think about the very end, if you've not read all of it, but the very end, do the characters that by the end of the story some have died, do they come back? And the answer in this case is no. He's definitely, and I think it's the falseness of him getting wounded and hurt in season 1, but then he took this first well water and came back, can make you expect, well, then they can come back for anything. And there has to be consequences in the world, because that's the world we live in, right? And I think for us, these stories to ring true for us, you need that. And I think in this case, we needed that. I think when we were watching the season 2 premiere, I had a kid behind me. Is he going for a swim? It's like, oh, no. So, yeah, no, he's actually gone. Good question. Who else got one?
Oh, I've got one. Okay. So we see little moments with Poto in this episode and a couple episodes later, and you see some eyes looking back at him in the water. Do you wanna go into that a little bit? Could it be Jurgen? Is that who that is?
Great question. Yeah, so Poto has this unnatural fear of water and the waterfalls, right? And it's weird for a guy who's so tough. It's a weird moment that we won't know the real conclusion of this till the end of season 3.
He's almost like a sea captain too. That's kind of how I imagine him. He's almost like a pirate. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would he be afraid of water? What's going on here, right?
And I think it also explains what happened to his leg.
Yeah. Right. So it's all tied in there, and so the image that you see of a sea dragon is definitely in his imagination. It's not really there.
Okay.
Are there sea dragons at the base of that falls? Probably. Yeah, because they can smell him. They talk about that. The sea dragons can smell Poto and know where he is. It's part of the bigger story. And so, yeah, I think they're tracking him. But I don't think he actually sees it. We wanted to put that in there to really clarify why he was kind of feeling freaked out there. All right, who's got the next question?
I do. Actually, the scene when Janner, gives Tink his arrows and almost, accepts I'm not as good as Tink. Where did that idea come from?
Yeah, it was interesting. We were working through, we had a version of this where Janner was just clumsy and not shooting well, and so it was like, how far do we go here before it just becomes just a punching bag? It's rude,
Yeah.
And so we thought, well, what if he goes to a certain point and then just realizes, you know what, this is what Kalmar's really built for. So that goes back to season 1, episode 1, the first time we meet Kalmar. Remember what that one is? He's Tink at that point.
Yeah, he's
in the woods, right?
Yeah, he's in the woods running away from a toothy cow.
Yeah, but what is he doing just before that?
He was practicing. He was shooting a bow and arrow, and he was doing really well, actually.
So season 1, episode 1, I'm thinking about how do we start our series? Where do we begin? And what I was thinking of was this moment. Because he's going to be on a bridge in real time pretty quickly. And he's going to be really good. So we can't, it's a bit of a leap to imagine that he went from never having held a bow and arrow in his life to being an expert archer,
Yeah.
like some sort of elf out there, banging down, it's not going to work. So Legolas. So I wanted to start with the idea that he was kind of secretly practicing his own bow and arrow, so that you'd believe that he got that good, right? Janner was not practicing.
No.
So it felt better that he would be clunky at it,
So when Janner and Tink and Lily are told that they're the jewels of an era and that, he's, the king of the Lost Isles and is it King Warden? Or
Yeah,
the Song Maiden and the
Throne Warden.
And the Throne Warden. And Janner, you could tell he was upset by that he wasn't the king.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he thought Tink wasn't fit to be king. But then you can tell on the bridge scene when he gives Tink his arrows, you can tell, the relationship, it's breakthrough of the relationship. And you can tell Tink, or Janner finally admitted that, that like Tink is the king and he's supposed to be protecting him.
Yeah, in his own way. I think Janner probably has a vision of what he thought the king should be like, and Calmer's going to, all through the season, continue to behave differently than he thinks he should.
Right.
And that, of course, has consequences because of the way that he treats his brother, right? Not saying it's Janner's fault. Calmer's responsible for his choices, but, he's definitely giving you should be like this, right? And I think as siblings, we all do this, right? And I don't know if you two ever do, but, I certainly, with my siblings, you should behave this way, and you don't, and I have a feeling about that, right? And sometimes that can shift the way that person wants to be. With my brothers, I definitely did that and had to later ask forgiveness and be like, man, I'm sorry. I said some things and behaved some ways around you that caused you to behave in this way, and I'm sorry for my part in that, And I think that for Janner, there's a bit of that with Calmar, right?
And I think especially since Janner reads so many books, like I'm sure he's read books with kings in them and been like, this is how a king should act, and
right.
You're just stuffing your face full of food, like.
Yeah, and Poto gives him a little bit of that too, and it's actually the next episode, but starts talking about, act like a king,
Right.
And he's like, well, I don't know what that means. What are you saying?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. How did the book's descriptions of Fingap Falls influence the look and feel of it in the show?
Badly. We drew so many drawings of Fingap Falls because the way the books describe them doesn't actually work in the real world. You can't have that type of topography where there's this big slow rolling waterfall that goes to a big waterfall with land masses on the outside. Like, it just doesn't work. And we kept drawing it, and Garrett Taylor, who's our art director, we'd read these passages and try to understand it, and then we'd go Google Earth, right? We'd go fly around and find waterfalls and try to find ones that could actually work that way, and we just got completely stuck. And so one day, Andrew drew it for us. He drew his version of it, and it doesn't make sense geographically. Like, you go, okay, fine, we're gonna break science here, but that's the one we made, which involved a tumble down area, then a pool, then the bridge itself, right? And then this massive fall, and that would create a bunch of steam or mist, that would hide things, because we needed to hide it and then we needed to reveal it. Like, it was pretty complicated. We spent probably the most time designing, thinking, and working from the book informing us on that waterfall of anything of all of season 2. Like, it was something we worked on early, because making the water feel like it's part of a storybook, and not like real water, because it wouldn't make sense. The animated characters wouldn't make sense on top of it. Working out the geography of not being able to see steps, but then being able to see steps, because initially they look over and like, we're stuck on the edge of this thing. We're not going to get off of here. And then Tink's like, actually, there's steps down here, right? How does that work out? Like, how do they not see it and then see it, and you believe that, right? So, so many drawings and figuring out where to stage them and then get them to the bottom. And then I wanted it to have a complete bridge first, like that they could have just walked across, and then for it to go badly. So that was a tweak I made of like, well, what if they started chucking rocks and like broke the bridge? Like, yay, we can get out of here. Now we can't, right?
Give like a
then
moment
what happens,
of disappointment.
right? And then we get a little Lara Croft Tomb Raider with Neo jumping across it, which is really fun, kind of showing her character, like she's gonna make stuff happen, right? She's very bold. Love that part of her character. So the waterfall informed a lot of character choices. It was really hard to figure out the geography. Then to figure out how far do they go across the bridge, how long is the span, to believe that it would take them some time, they could fight them, and then the trolls wouldn't just get there right away. The trolls have to cross that gap too. Would they be afraid of it? Sure, probably. So they get pushed by the fangs and eventually do it. Then eventually the fangs figured out and put a piece of wood down, and like solve it. But there was this again took so much time to think about. It's funny when you read a book, we probably all had a similar image in our minds, but then when it comes to the real world, how does it actually work, right? Like, how do we get it done? And all building up obviously for the loss of Nugget. Then on the far side, we spent a bunch more time designing the ruins of that castle. So there's a ruin kind of castle that they set their campfire up in. How high up, how far away from the waterfall is safety, right? Because the fangs are still right nearby. How far do they have to go? But it can't be too far from the cliffs, because Lily's got to walk down there to sing a song. So it was a lot of drawing and moving. We literally pushed it up the hill, down the hill, over here, over like wanted the family to be close, but not too close, because we want Jenner and the kids to experience that song and the magic with Jurgen separate from the family, but then be close enough to like when Jenner passes out for Nia to be able to pick him up and, be all freaked out. Whew. So much. This was a lot of times when you're designing an animated thing from a book, you are working on geography, like where are people and how far apart are these things? And this episode had the most geography to solve, right? That makes it believable. But it sounds like it worked, that you guys believed it, so that's good. Awesome. Well, this has been episode 2 of season 2. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for the great questions, y'all. It's a good discussion.
Thank you.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
If you've missed any of the prior ones, of course, go back and check them out. But we're going to keep going on through the rest of season 2 in preparation for season 3 coming out later this year. And we hope you'll stay with us. Next up will be episode 3, which is a big one, introducing a whole new set of characters. Definitely go find that one when it's released. All right, thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.